Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Early Bird. I'm here. Let's get on it. We'll talk about yesterday's games as the playoffs are now officially open. And in yesterday's games, I think we've seen one game we could kind of predict the outcome. And I think the second game, guys, was just a big disappointment, in my opinion. So we're going to talk about that disappointment to open this. And let's take a look at the first game, which was the Islanders at Carolina. Here we go. Anderson makes 33 saves. Hurricanes edge Islanders in Game 1. The numbers. The Islanders had the favor in shots at 34-26, but the faceoffs 59% for Carolina, 41 for the Islanders. Carolina 1 for 3 on the power play. The Islanders 0 for 2. Here it is right here, what I don't get. I just don't understand this. Carolina had 23 hits in the game, which is lousy for a playoff game, guys. It just is. But the Islanders only mustered 17, which is so out of character. It's almost like they possessed the Islanders to play their game, which doesn't make any sense to me. Carolina 13 blocks. The Islanders had 21. 8 giveaways for Carolina, 5 for the Islanders. 10 takeaways. Hurricanes, 7 Islanders. Shots on goal per period. 8-7 Islanders in the first, 13-6 Islanders in the second, and 13 apiece in the third for that 34-26 total. And the scoring? Kuznetsov from Nichas and Shea at the 1:35 mark makes it 1-0 Carolina, and the Islanders are playing from behind. And you would think there would be some physical presence in this game. It's very bizarre. Then McLean ties it up at 8:20 from Liam Romanov. That's the scoring after 1-1. We go now to the third. No scoring in the second. We go to the third at the 3:44 mark. Nason from Shea and Kuznetsov. And there's your game winner right there at 3:44. And Nichas from Pesce and Drury makes it 3-1 at 18:28 and an empty netter. So my thoughts on that game, all right, is that the Islanders did not play with their identity. And if you're not going to play with your identity in the playoffs, especially that's a proper identity in the playoffs, is to have a hard-hitting team and be out there physically making things happen in your favor, they're not going to go far, folks. They're not. The Islanders are going to bow out very quick. If they get drawn into Carolina's game, where they just give Carolina more open ice and let them freewheel a bit, in which they didn't, because they were blocking, they were clogging up the neutral zone and stuff like that. But you got to wear them down. They got better legs than you. You have to wear them down. And if the Islanders aren't going to wear them down, if Patrick Waugh thinks he can have this high-wheeling team or something, he's out of his mind. Waugh's a good coach. I think he's a better coach than Brindamore. I do. So we have to see how they adjust to this. I'm very taken back. The Islanders threw 17 hits in their first playoff game. Very taken back by that. I thought the Islanders would come out with like 45 hits yesterday. 45 hits. I just did. And I'm not surprised that Carolina didn't do much physically. But I'm very surprised at the Islanders. And if the Islanders are going to play that way, they're gonna bow out quick. It'll be a 5-game series. They might get one at home, and by the time they figure out they did it wrong, it'll be too late. So if I'm an Islanders fan, I'm more concerned about my team's lack of physical presence in that game. That's just the way I would be. I'd be very worried. 17 hits for a New York Islanders team in a playoff game. Something's very wrong there in that picture. All right, let's go to the second game of the night, the second and last game of the night. Here we go. And DeBrusk scores twice. Bruins defeat Maple Leafs in Game 1 of East first round. Let's look at the numbers. And the shots on goal. The Leafs played good in this game. I've seen all their fans complaining after. Their fans, you know what? Their fans need to live the 1970s again. Really, they're just a spoiled brat bunch of fans. They really are. They played well in this game. 36-24 shots on goal for Toronto. 57% Boston on the faceoffs, 43 Toronto. And this is where Boston put them away, folks. 2 for 5 on the power play. The Leafs were 0 for 3. And look at the hits. That's a playoff game, 50 hits apiece. Expect to see a lot of that. And you got to remember, Boston number 2 in the league in hitting, the Leafs number 3. Expect to see this night in, night out. Maybe not 50 every night from both teams, but you're going to see a lot of physical play in this series. 13 blocks for the Bruins, 14 for the Leafs. 9 giveaways Boston, 12 Toronto. And 9 takeaways Boston, 6 Toronto. Shots on goal per period. Boston 12-11 favor in the first. Then the Leafs take over in shots from that point on the rest of the night. 13-9 in the second and 12-3 Leafs in the third. But the Bruins pretty much went into a shell. They had that 4-0 lead. And they pretty much knew that they were just going to put it away. All right, scoring. Not scoring, sorry guys. Scoring. Let me open it up. It looks very small. Maybe I should have cut this in two. All right. Beecher from Boquist to Maroon. Maroon made his physical play. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but he threw one Leaf right into the Bruins bench at one point. I forget who it was. I can't remember. Half awake. 1-0 Boston at the 2:26 mark. That's it after one. Toronto's in this game. They're in this game. Boston with a big goal, though, here. Carlo from DeBrusque and Lindholm makes it 2-0 at 5:47, and you could feel that's a big one because this seemed like the type of game that if Toronto lets in one more goal, they're losing. And then on the power play, controversial power play, DeBrusque from McAvoy and Marchand makes it 3-0 at 15:02, and you can feel that the Bruins now are in the Leafs' heads. It's too late for Toronto. DeBrusque again. At 17:34, Marchand and McAvoy again on the assists, and they pretty much put the game away. We go to the third. Bruins with that commanding 4-0 lead go into a shell. And Camp from Dewar and Reeves. Reeves, I thought, played pretty well out there yesterday, actually. At the 1:39 mark, makes it 4-1. And then Frederick with the empty netter from Pasternak, and that's your 5-1 total right there. So really, that's it. In this game, as it went, as I expected anyway, Boston got into Toronto's head, and that was it. And really, guys, I think that's what's going to happen a lot in this series. Now, this Toronto team is not done. Like, they came out, they played hard. And all I could see is all their fans talking about how bad they played and this. They're just so spoiled. They really don't understand that. You know what? You're living a pretty good era of Toronto Maple Leafs hockey, the best era in their history, and their fans can do nothing but complain. And look, I get they're frustrated their team lost, but my goodness, if my team threw 50 hits and outshot the team 3-2 in the game, 3-2 ratio in the game, and played well, and their goalie was just stellar. I mean, what are you going to do? And they're, don't make the excuses. Also, Nylander didn't play, guys. He did not play in the game. But don't make the excuses that, I don't know, Matthews isn't scoring. Or we know this team goes as Matthews does in Toronto. We know this. But at the same time, Toronto's identity was there. They were passing. They were trying. They were mentally in this game. Till that power play. Really, till that power play. That Toronto Maple Leafs were mentally in this game. And eventually they broke down, and that was it. But I've been saying it all year. Toronto never addressed the goaltending issue, and the truth is their blue line just isn't that strong. Okay, this has been the dilemma of the Toronto Maple Leafs for years now, guys, is that their goaltending, it's a different goalie every year. I mean, there's no identity there, and no strong identity. The guy that's in their nets is a guy that had to go to arbitration. So he was kind of, you can bet he's going to up and leave Toronto. He's not going to stick around. So Toronto will have another goalie next year. You watch. This guy is his last year, and it'll be his last year in Toronto. I think Toronto in this game played really, really good till that power play. And from that point on, it was just... Boston's too much for them, I think, folks, mentally. I really do. I do believe that. We'll see next game, though, because Toronto look, in my opinion, like they could win next game, how good they played in this one. But if they don't show up, and take the body on Boston just as much. And Toronto are right there with them physically all night long, eh? It's not like the old days where Boston would just bully them. It wasn't like that. Toronto was ready for them physically, and they still couldn't get it done. So we'll have to see next game. All right, guys, done there. I got a busy schedule today, so I'm going to get out and about. We got a bunch of games today, so I'm hoping you guys are having fun with the playoffs, even though our boys aren't in it. And hopefully we'll get some Sabres news soon with this coaching thing, because I don't like how this is dragging already. It's bugging me. If Adams is going to drag this all summer, we deserve Quenneville to go to Detroit, the way I see it. We deserve that. All right, guys. See you soon.